Welcome to the Hope Talks podcast with Grayson Willis and Pastor Margaret Michael, where you'll hear inspiring stories that are filled with hope and good news in Jesus Christ. You can find our podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcast, and TuneIn. You can also listen to episodes on our church YouTube channel. Thanks so much for listening.
Welcome to today's broadcast of Hope Talks. I'm Grayson Willis. Thanks for tuning in. And today's broadcast will be a collection of interviews that I did with people from our church, Church of the Nazarene, in both Harrisonburg and East Rock. It took place during our Best Week Ever, and this is the fourth year that we've done Best Week Ever. And Best Week Ever is a week where people from our church do service projects in our community. And in addition to Best Week Ever, this year we also had Vacation Bible School the same week. So some of the interviews you may hear may also be people that served at our Vacation Bible School, either at our Harrisonburg or East Rock campuses. We pray that today's broadcast will be a half hour of hope for your life. May God bless. I'm Grayson Willis, and I'm here during Best Week Ever with Pastor Felicidad Martinez, and she is leading a lot of our projects for Hope Distributed, our nonprofit food bank and clothes closet. And Pastor Felicidad, just talk about some of the projects that we've been doing this week and some that we will do still yet for Hope Distributed in our community.
It's such a blessing to be able to work this week during the Best Week Ever and alongside many of our volunteers that they have worked really hard to accomplish lots of our projects. One of the projects that I can tell you right now is we had to clean the freezers and the coolers of the food bank and just bringing everything out and scrubbing at 0-degree weather climate. It was challenging, but it was fun, and now it's so clean. It looks really nice. We are refinishing the conference tables that they had. You know, those things were donated years ago. They have seen their best days. We're still working on them, but they will look like new, hopefully, by the end of the week. We have did clean the whole food bank. We moved pallets, sweep, clean, shine the floors. We shampoo carpets there. We're also working in the old food bank, the former food bank here in the warehouse, and we're doing the same thing. We're just trying to do all the extra jobs that the volunteers can get done every day because of the high volume of clients that we are seeing. So we are like shining floors, shampooing carpets. Today we're gonna do a car wash for all of the trucks of the food bank. Oftentimes, you know, when we're carrying food, the juices, the produce, all that gets gooey in the back of in the beds of the trucks. So we're gonna power wash all that and make those trucks look like new. And we're working also in the warehouse so we can organize the furniture, organize Baby Hub. Yesterday we delivered furniture to a single mom and her son, and it was the second floor, and we had help with all of a few men of the church got together and delivered this. So those are a few things. Tomorrow we're going to be delivering food to a neighborhood. We're going to pack them in the morning, and then in the evening we're going to go out and deliver some food to some families, to about 100 families in a neighborhood. So those are a few things that we're doing, and we're working hard. We're sweating a lot, but we're praying that we are making a difference in our community.
Thank you, Pastor Felicidad. It sounds like a huge blessing, not only to the food bank, but also to the families in our community. Thank you for sharing.
Of course. Have a happy Best Week Ever, everyone.
I'm Grayson Willis, and I'm here with Nicole Wright. And one of the things that we've been doing during our Best Week Ever is going out and visiting people in our congregation, maybe people that can't get out or people that have health issues or different things like that. And Cecil, just talk about some of the, I know you've done some of the visits this week. Just talk about how y'all have been able to encourage some people you've been out to visit.
Well, we made several visits, Grayson, and all of them have been a blessing to me, really. You know, you hope you can go and encourage people, and we try to do that. But it's just interesting to sit down and visit with folks and talk to them about prior experiences they've had in life. And before we leave, you know, we find out if there are needs that they have that they want us to pray with them or for them. And we've done that. It's really been a blessing. I was wondering, I've done some visiting before, but this was special because these are individuals, people that can't get out for health reasons for most of them. And they just have really been so appreciative that we would take time to come and visit and share with them and they with us. So it's been a wonderful experience.
Thank you for sharing, Cecil, and it just sounds like a real simple but impactful way to encourage these people who don't get many visitors or don't get out very often.
That's right, and I guess the thing that I've learned in making a few visits here in the last couple of days is thinking about these folks. We do it during Best Week Ever, but these folks live 52 weeks of the year, and we should take more time to seek these individuals throughout the year and visit and pray with them and so forth. So some of these people are really in lonely situations.
Yep, that's a great point. Hopefully that's something that will carry on even throughout the whole year, not just during Best Week Ever.
Right. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing, Cecil. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
I'm here with Pastor Chris Cruz, and he's kind of been overseeing the snow cones during our Best Week Ever, which is something we started last year and was really great. So, Pastor Chris, just tell us, you've kind of gotten an overview of everything that's been going on this week during Best Week Ever. So talk about some of the places y'all have gone to do snow cones and kind of how that's blessed those that are serving others.
Yeah, we've gone to different locations. I think one of my favorite locations, though, has been the Boys and Girls Club. We visited all the open Boys and Girls Club this summer, and so we've gotten just to go make snow cones for the kids, which, as you can know, they probably love it. And so it's always good being there and getting to see how their faces just light up when they get the snow cone. And so it's like, it might not seem like a big thing, but it's a small thing just to share hope in that way. And then we've also visited some of our teams that have been doing like yard work places at like the WREs, buildings, and just around the area. And so that's been really awesome too. Just getting to see people serve from like the youngest in our church to the oldest too. So they're all serving, and it's awesome to watch.
And I know this one night we did snow cones for our drive-in pantry, and I believe you all also have done snow cones for VBS a couple nights.
Yeah, definitely too. So we've done both VBSs at East Rock and at the Harrisonburg and Esperanza campus, and also tonight at the drive-thru for the food pantry. So it's just awesome getting engaged with people too. It's like, hey, it's really hot out today. Yeah. While you wait in this line, here's a snow cone. Let's have a conversation real quick.
Yeah, something small, but something that is really appreciated, I think, by the adults, but especially the kids, as you mentioned, like at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, the kids love it. I'm sure maybe parents don't love it as much when their kids have a lot of sugar in them, but it's just a really awesome way to be able to connect with different families.
Well, thank you for sharing, Pastor Chris.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm here with Micah Branson, and she's been leading or helped lead the Odd Jobs. And tell us what your team's been doing this week.
Oh, wow. Monday, we had an amazing crew here at the church, and we got a honey-do list from Daryl here and some of the staff, and so we pretty much completed that with a huge group on Monday. Tuesday, we went to Kieseltown Little League and a couple of other sites around the county. We also had another crew Monday and Tuesday at somebody's house doing some work in a basement and on an air conditioner. So we had many crews doing amazing things. At Kieseltown Little League, we replaced some gravel, ripped out a set of paver stairs and seated some larger pavers back in there for a safer set of stairs to get down to some bleachers. We weeded, we pressure washed, we mulched a lot of places. We did some people's yards, and then today was probably my favorite day, though, for crazy reasons, but we took digging irons and popped out old 4x4 posts that were put together with rebar around 2 playground places in Bergton that needed some love, and then we put the plastic playground area reinforcement and then put down new mulch all the way around those 2 playgrounds. So it was pretty tiring week, but pretty amazing. A lot of Best Week Ever magic going on.
Yeah, you guys are just kind of all over the place.
We are, and then the snow cone team finds us. So it's kind of like trail magic on the Appalachian Trail. You know, like when you see this mirage and you find like a Coke somebody left you. But my mom showed up with smoothies at Kieseltown one day right when we were done. And then sometimes the snow cones show up and they follow you around. It's wonderful.
Cool. Well, thanks for serving. It sounds like y'all been all over the place, just blessing people, yard work, odd jobs. Just kind of evolves each year, it seems like.
It is, and we were actually in Elkton. Part of it that really moved me is I was trimming some bushes and I just couldn't quite get up. I wasn't quite tall enough or brave enough to get up on top of the ladder and fall off of it. And the lady whose house it was, I think it was Pam Aldridge, came out and held the ladder for me.
That's cool.
I got higher than I would have if she wasn't holding me up.
That's cool.
And I said, this is kind of like the church, you know, like I wouldn't even attempt this without you holding me up as a base. So it's just an illustration to me of how we need each other. You might have the ability to do something, but somebody else has the ability and the foundation to provide the details and make it happen. And we're just such a picture of the church. I've thought many times this week, this is what the church looks like. This is what the church looks like.
That's powerful. That's a neat story of how even somebody y'all were serving wanted to help you all.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That's cool. Thank you for sharing, Micah.
You're welcome.
I'm here with Dan Dedamore Hunsberger, and he's leading the charge for the Habitat for Humanity project that some of our volunteers are helping with this week. Dan, just talk about what you all have been doing for Habitat this week.
So this week we've had a various number of volunteers from the church involved in digging footers and mixing mud and forming footers for a front porch and a rear deck, then framing the front porch and framing the rear deck. Today, our final day, we're putting the decking boards on the rear deck and also doing the railing. A number of people have worked at cleanup around the site and also work on pulling wiring. We've had a team work inside and building soffits and boxing in the various HVAC ductwork so that it has clean lines in the various rooms. It's been a variety of work, but we've really knocked out a good bit. It's been a very humbling and very good experience here at Habitat.
Well, thank you for serving and leading the charge with this project, Dan. I'm sure Habitat is really appreciative of the work you all have done this week.
Thank you.
I'm here with Marcie McGuire, and she's served quite a bit with Best Week Ever and VBS this week. Marcie, just talk about some of the stories, some of the experience you've had serving this week.
Well, it's been a real privilege, and it's been lots of fun. A little bit of hard work, but with many hands, it was much lighter work. We've been serving snow cones at the Habitat for Humanity work site, and at church, and at the Boys and Girls Clubs. And a couple of nights I helped cooking meals for VBS. Lots and lots of chopping, peppers and onions. But it's just been a joy to get to know other members in the church on a first name basis, and it's always nice to serve too. Yep,
it's been great. Serving is really good, but it's also great to get to know people from the church that maybe you haven't got to know. Maybe you know their faces or their names, but you really don't know their stories.
Right.
So, and I know y'all have been feeding a lot of people at Vacation Bible School. I know they had over 100 kids, and not all of them ate there, but also you had families, so it's probably close to 130 plus the volunteers.
I think the last couple of nights it was like 170 to 190 folks.
That's a lot of people to feed. So thank you for serving this week.
My pleasure.
I know the snow cones have been a blessing. I've heard stories about that also.
Yeah,
so.
Chris said we've made over 1,200 snow cones this week.
That's amazing. Thank you, Marcie.
Okay, thank you.
I'm here with Penny Wilhelm, and she has been part of our team serving our community this week. Penny, just talk about some of the things from this week that have really blessed you or you've observed.
It was really wonderful to serve with people within our church community and church family who I've never met before. The right people always showed up at the right time, and everybody put God first, and it was filled with love and laughter. One of the beautiful things that I saw was parents serving with their children or grandchildren, and how God used these little children to have that experience of serving for the very first time, and even a little effort makes a big difference in God's kingdom.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how old or how young you are. This week has been for all generations. I've even seen kids serving, and there's been a place for everybody. I know they even had people going out and visiting people who weren't able to do physical labor. And so just the different areas have all been a blessing, and it included all age groups, and that's like the kingdom.
Yes. It was just so wonderful to be able to share with everybody from all generations.
Thank you for serving, Penny. I'm sure it's been a great blessing to those that you've served this week.
Thank you for the opportunity to serve.
I'm here with our children's pastor, Pastor Julie, and you guys had an exciting week of VBS at both our Harrisonburg and East Rock campuses. Just any stories or any highlights that you have that you want to share from the week?
Yeah, it was a really, really awesome, powerful week. Lots of excitement, which was fun, but also just lots of praise and worship happening. And I would say something that stuck out to me is that we had a record number of people coming for the meal. And it was really cool to see that we had a hospitality team this year that was part of Best Week Ever, and seeing how they got to interact with the families. And I think that really just added such a unique, special element to that. And so we had a record number of people at that meal this year, which was awesome. And then last night at VBS, we got to present the gospel, and we had the altars were filled with kids.
Wow.
So that was
cool.
really, really neat to get to experience that and see God moving.
Yeah, it's a great blessing to be able to serve kids and families, but ultimately you do it so that kids will get to know Christ and come to
Right.
Christ. And if you'd just like to share how many kids were here, or how many families ate at the meal roughly each night.
Yeah, we had over 150 people eating, which was great. And then that we fed. And then we also had at our Harrisonburg and Esperanza Viva campuses, we had around 130 children each night, about an average of that. So yeah, it was really a lot of families impacted. So it was really cool to get to connect with all of them.
That's exciting. And also I heard that there were middle schoolers serving the
Yes.
kids. So I'm sure that was cool to get to see those students serving.
Yes, we had a lot of student leaders this year, which is super powerful. And they love the kids. They poured so much love and energy into them, which was awesome.
That's cool. Thank you for sharing, Pastor Julie, and thank you for your leadership.
Yeah, thank you, Grayson.
I'm here with Chrissy Lopez-Catina. Just tell us about one of the food distributions that we did with Hope Distributed during Best Week Ever.
We brought a group of people to Valley View Homes, which is a neighborhood in the north of Harrisonburg. And we went to the houses and invited them in. We have a big truck here that's full of boxes of food and bags of produce and bread. And so we took this opportunity to just bless them with food and then invite them to our Spanish-speaking service. And also our annual big event, our pig roast that we do every year. So it's a great ministry to just supply for people's physical needs and then also invite them to grow spiritually and to join us at church.
Thank you for sharing, Chrissy. It really sounds like a great outreach event to our community.
You're welcome.
And meeting a physical need and a spiritual need,
That's
hopefully.
right. Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm here with Andrew Rhodes, and he served during our Best Week Ever at our Vacation Bible School at our Harrisonburg campus. Andrew, if you just want to share how you served and whatever you got out of the week, or any stories or anything like that you want to share.
Sure. Hi, Grayson. Yeah, me and Carol Hilliard worked with the rising fifth graders, and so this year we were the Flamingos, and I felt really blessed and had a great time serving at VBS, and really enjoyed my time with it. The kids had a great time, and I really enjoyed serving.
Thank you for sharing, and thank you for serving, Andrew.
Thank you, Grayson.
I'm here with Nicole Wright, and she served during our Best Week Ever and also at VBS. So, Nicole, tell about both of those places you served this week.
So I did Best Week Ever. We did a landscaping project just here at the church on Monday, and then throughout the week had Vacation Bible School at Elkton, which was a wonderful experience. Probably 15 to 20 kids. A wonderful time each night. The kids were real happy to be there. I was the snack station leader, so it was kind of fun to get to,
So all the kids liked you.
Yeah, give them sugar, give them home. But just wonderful time. Was very impressed with how the children reacted, how receptive they were, as well as toward the end of the week, a lot becoming really engaged with both praying, knowing a lot more about the Bible than I thought some would. And then even had some kids talking about possibly getting baptized.
Cool.
So it was a wonderful experience. Also got to do what I like to call snow cone ministries a couple times throughout the week, both at Elkton and the Harrisonburg campus, and people really seem to enjoy that.
Well, thanks for serving with our Best Week Ever and VBS at our East Rock campus, Nicole.
Thank you, Grayson.
I'm here with Bo Hammond, and he helped lead the yard work and odd jobs, and I know y'all were busy this week, and just share some of the ways in which y'all served and blessed people in our community, and any cool stories you want to share.
Yeah, thanks, Grayson. Appreciate the opportunity. So, yeah, we did a lot of sweating this week and just trying to serve and bless the community as much as we could. And I think a couple things that stood out to me this year, I've been doing this for 3 years now, and a couple things that stood out, I think really saw some joy both in those that were serving and those that were being served. And I think it's important to remember that, we certainly are going to sweat, we're going to get frustrated, we're going to hurt, we're going to ache, but it's always good to remember that there's joy in serving, and hopefully the people we serve are getting some joy. And I can remember 2 gentlemen went to do a power washing thing on Monday for a gentleman. And I took some water to him on my way to another job. We had split the crew up. And as I drove out to take some water to those guys, I looked and one guy was power washing the side and one guy was power washing the front. And this gentleman uses a walker and couldn't do it himself, so he definitely needed some help. And as I pulled up, I saw this big mist. It was a hot day, and this big mist of cool water that's drifting around. And right in the middle of all that mist was the gentleman we were helping, Mr. Harold Gilkerson. And he was just sitting there with his shirt off in a lawn chair, watching the two gentlemen that were power washing his house and just enjoying that cool mist. And I just thought, man, that's just awesome. He's enjoying it. These guys are smiling as they're having some fun watching him. And I think the joy of us serving and the joy of seeing somebody enjoy graciously, what we're able to give thanks to God's gifts was a standout moment for one.
Well, thank you for serving, Bo. And that's a great point. Oftentimes we serve to bless others, but oftentimes it's twofold. We end up, not only are the people we're serving getting blessed, but also usually we get blessed, like you were sharing with that story. And so thanks for helping lead that team and serve this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
I'm here with Mark Lotz. He served during our best week ever. And Mark, if you'd just like to share some of the ways you served this week.
Sure. Me and my kids served at EAUS in Elkton. It was a good time just to be able to help out in the community. We did some sorting of some shoes and some clothes. Enjoyed our time together. It was a great time to spend with the kids and also teach them lessons on serving and helping others.
Well, that's the cool part about Best Week Ever. It doesn't matter your age, young or old. There was ways for everybody to serve and also families to be able to serve together. So thank you for serving, Mark, and I'm sure it was greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. Everybody's very grateful to have all the volunteers serve there, and we had a great time, and it was good to be out in the community and helping.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm here with Pastor Billy Logan, our pastor of discipleship here at Church of the Nazarene. Pastor Billy, just any stories you have from the areas that you served in this week?
Yeah, it was a great week. I enjoyed all the opportunities I had to get out there shoulder to shoulder with our people and serve our community. I spent most of the week at the Habitat for Humanity project, and we had a great time over there. I got to know some new people, got to know some people better, and also met some people who aren't even part of our church family. And one young man who was there working his sweat equity hours for another house that he would be getting from Habitat. He's from outside of Ethiopia, been in the States for a handful of years. He was a nice young man. He liked our shirts we were wearing, and so he asked me about them, asked me if they were for the church. And I told him, yeah, but we got him a T-shirt. And his eyes just lit up, and he wore it the next few days working with the team there. So it was just neat to make a connection, even in a little detail like that. It's just neat to see how God works in those things.
Yeah, it's neat how something as small as giving somebody a T-shirt can bless somebody. And also it was neat how we got to partner with people in our community to serve. So yeah, it was cool that we partnered with church members, but also people in the community helped out as well. Also, I know you helped some with VBS. Just anything that you want to share from helping with that?
Yeah, I had the opportunity to help as one of the leaders. There was a handful or so of us, and it was necessary because I helped with the preschool class at Bible school. And so that's a humbling and tiring experience. My son being in the class included, running around and trying to keep 22 preschoolers focused and learning about Jesus, but it was fun nonetheless. And just a great week in the life of our church.
Thank you for serving and for sharing, Pastor Billy. Certainly future generations will be told about the Lord, and I believe young lives were impacted for the kingdom. So thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you, Grayson. That's what it's all about.
I'm here with Pastor John, our pastor of operations here at Church of the Nazarene, and just share a little bit about the areas you served in or any highlights from Best Week Ever.
Yeah, so I was serving in the East Rockingham area, and on Monday I got to serve with my son at EAUS, and we were sorting clothes for about 4 hours, and it was kind of a never-ending pile of clothing. Help's always needed. So we did that there, and probably one of my highlights there was just being able to serve with my son, obviously, and kind of pouring into him during that time, but also serving with two other guys from our campus, Kent Pettit and a guy named Edward that I didn't really know that well before Best Week Ever. And of course, another highlight that went along with that was just being able to share a lunch with my son and with Edward and getting to know Edward better. A lot of my week in East Rockingham was spent working with VBS as well. We had some issues happening with sickness and that sort of thing, and so we had some leaders out. And so I ended up serving, I think it was 4 or 5 days with VBS. And so, I ended up just kind of serving there alongside some other leaders. And, there were several of those leaders that were working all day with Best Week Ever and then coming to VBS and serving there as well. So it was inspiring to see, how much people poured into both of those events in the same week. Some of those were taking vacation weeks off of work to do that. And so that's pretty inspiring to see.
Well, thank you for sharing, Pastor John. And yeah, that's been one of the greatest things I think people have mentioned, just the multi-generational, young to old, that have been serving during Best Week Ever and getting to serve with family and getting to know church members better, on a first name basis and getting to know their stories. So thank you for sharing. I'm here with Pastor Margaret Michael, who led our Best Week Ever this year. Pastor Margaret, if you just want to give an overview of the week or any stories you might have or thoughts from the week.
Sure. Yeah. Best Week Ever is an amazing opportunity just to dip our toes in the water of community service. And not only that, but it is an opportunity to work shoulder to shoulder with those that we go to church with. We have on Sunday morning, we worship together and we have life groups and we grow together in discipleship through our life groups. And another really important part of our mission is to serve together. And so Best Week Ever is an opportunity just to do that, to serve shoulder to shoulder. And there are so many things that happen in that week that a lot of times we're not expecting. And sometimes it even surprises me after we've done it for a few years. But our church is big enough and we have a couple of services and a couple of campuses. So obviously not everyone knows everyone. Some people have not ever met other people that call this church home. And so all of a sudden you're working with people, you get to know their name, and it's just amazing. You stop for lunch, and I was amazed one day, there was two guys on one of the teams I was working on, and they were both married in the same church. It was a different church, but the same church. And there's something that happens, and I don't know how to explain it because it's a God thing, but there's something about the tapestry of God's people. And through Best Week Ever, people become a part of that fabric that's knitted together in a way that maybe they've never experienced before. And it happens to me every year. I get to know new people. I'm just amazed at the gifts that God gives folks, that I see them most every Sunday and have no idea how God has really gifted them, what life experiences they have to lean into a week like Best Week Ever. And a really beautiful thing that happens out of that week is on Sunday morning when folks walk in to the church, someone knows their name that didn't know them the week before. And that's just a beautiful thing. I'd shared with our congregation that, one person said, I told my wife, we're not incognito anymore. We are known now. Yeah. And I think that felt really good to them. And those are the things when we go to serve that we're not expecting. Those are the blessings that come from leaning in and maybe getting over our fears or being concerned about, will I be able to do the job that I've signed up to do or whatever. It's just amazing to watch how God works out all the details of a week like that. We had great folk behind the scenes taking care of all the details that a lot of people didn't even know, the little things during the day. And partnering with VBS was a great thing too, just to be able to support the leaders of the Vacation Bible School and allow them to focus on the children, and us just do the servant part of making sure that the families were fed and the building was cleaned up and the trash cans were emptied and the building was locked up at night. Like, the leaders could leave and know that they had a team supporting them. And that was a really beautiful piece of the Vacation Bible School and Best Week Ever being on the same week. It does cause, everybody wants to be a part of VBS and Best Week Ever, and some people had to choose, and that's kind of hard. Some people did everything and they were really tired. But it is a week that takes a lot to get ready for it, but it is so important in our community. We've shared before Jeremiah 29:11, where God tells the people of Israel through Jeremiah that be about the welfare of your city because your welfare depends on it. And we do take that personal. We take that serious. And we were able to engage in our community in different new ways than we've ever done before. So Best Week Ever is an opportunity to step our toes into the water of volunteering, like I said when I started, with the hope that we won't wait till next year to get involved in our community again, but we will find a way to engage our community and to be a part of it year-round, not just 1 week, whether it is serving at Hope Distributed, whether it's serving here as a part of our church, or serving other places in our community where we have connections, and maybe where someone else may have a passion to help another nonprofit that we didn't partner with, but finding that place to better our community. That's what it's all about, and to be the love of Jesus and be light in our community and not stay in the walls of our church, but really get out and rub shoulders with each other as we work, but then share the love and the grace and the mercy of God with those we connect with.
Right. Thank you for sharing, Pastor Margaret. And like you said, a great connection with others in our church and also making connections with nonprofits throughout the year, not just one week. And just a great week. And thanks again for your leadership of that. Appreciate it.
All joy.
Thank you for listening to today's broadcast of Hope Talks. I pray that as you've heard the many testimonies of people serving in our community, that today's broadcast truly has been a half hour of hope for your life. May God bless.
Hope Talks is sponsored by Church of the Nazarene Harrisonburg in partnership with Sunshine Ministries. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Hope Talks. If you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe for all the updates and latest episodes. Also, if you're in the Harrisonburg or Rockingham County area, we invite you to listen on the radio each Sunday at noon on 1470 AM or 102.1 FM, WBTX.